Welcome to Pigeon River Farm, doing farming right. I'm Robert Brown, the owner of Pigeon River Farm. Thank you for viewing.
Well, good evening. In this episode of the Hybrid Tractor Project, we're going to start the installation of the cables, explain why, where, what was all involved in the logic, the procedure. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, we're going to start with this side here. We've got 6 12-volt batteries in here. They're going to be wired up in series, and what we are going to do, they are isolated ground, so when we're done with the cabling, there is no connection whatsoever to the chassis of the tractor itself. So I'm just going to use regular work gloves. I don't have to use high voltage gloves for this environment. But things that I need to do for sure, anytime you're around batteries, make sure I have my safety glasses on. That is an absolute must. So that is a criteria. So let's go ahead and get started here. This has got the stud design. So it's a 3/8 16 SAE thread. And what we're going to do is we're going to put our cabling on here. So we are going to start getting the cables out. What I chose for this design, after a lot of research, we have a marine gauge cable. It's a number 2/0 cable. So it's a design to take the kind of current we're going to be involved with. It's got the high quality plated copper connections here, high quality brass. But there's a lot of little details that are critical to this. So we're going to start here with the positive terminal is located here, negative here. I set the cable up here with the respective boots on it. So we got insulated boots for protection. Place that on there, and now we're going to go ahead and get the hardware. Respectively with the hardware, we're going to put down a washer, and it's an internal tooth washer, stainless steel. So we'll get some kind of high quality positive connection on a terminal. Remember, the bottom here is led to a steel stud. We're going to put the internal tooth washer on top, and then specifically we're using a silicon bronze nut. They're 3/8 16, and I chose that because it's the best connectivity to the most strength ratio. So it looks like it is the best option. Okay, the next thing that is absolutely critical, the specifications for this is 120 inch-pounds. So I'm going to go ahead and set my torque wrench to 120 inch-pounds. So now we've set it to 120. This is a spring-style torque wrench. So it's set at 0. I have to bring it up to the 120, and when I'm done, I will have to return it back there so I don't change the calibration of the torque wrench. So let's go ahead and get this torqued. So to use a conventional ratchet, we'll just get her tightened up here initially. And evenly gripping on the handle. I'll bring it over, and there we go. We're at 120 inch-pounds. Again, it was 120 inch-pounds. We'll push the boots over here, secure them. Okay, one down, more to go. You notice I'm carefully leaving on all of the protective boots till I get the cables on there. That way we don't expose ourselves. Remember, the risk factor on this is 72 volts at this point. So it'd just be this bank of batteries. It's above the 60 volt threshold for for danger, but not by a lot. So it's still, with semi-insulated gloves, there would be little or no risk. Okay, next one here, we'll go ahead. As you can see, I'm in close proximity of the case. Now, if this was on a grounded system, this would be an absolute no-no. But because it's an isolated ground, there's no connectivity here to the metal, so this is a safe practice. Okay, now we got to remember that down the road, periodically, these will have to be retorqued. As the heat is generated on these terminals, even though it's torqued, high quality material, should get little or no expansion, it's still extremely good practice. To go in here with the torque wrench into the future, so what I'm going to do is I'll be setting up a schedule once it's up, and I think that will probably go around every 60 days. So there'll be a little reminder to go in, so based on activity with the tractor, I will do every 60 days, it will get a retorque. It's just good practice, and that will be all the electrical connections once we get everything done. But this is just the early stages of getting the battery hooked up. The next stage is going to be measuring out for my long cables, and then we'll be putting in the controller box. So I hope this information was helpful. You learned a little bit, and I thank you for your time, and have a great evening.